Dun 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 dun! Presenting the adventures of anal sex. What is up, sapiosexuals? Thank you for turning on Sex in South Beach with me, Dr. Sanjaya, America's sex educator. So the sex situation we're getting into today is all about anal penetration, people. Booyah! And you know, boo is a loaded word when it comes to anal. Did you know 40% of heterosexual women are engaging in anal these days? And more than a third of straight men say they're pushing their penis into their woman's anus. What? So no matter what you heard or what your mama taught you, straight people are into anal. And according to the data, everybody's into anal. In fact, there are many men who identify as heterosexual and also enjoy when their woman straps on a vibrator so she can anally penetrate them. Boom! Yes, indeed. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty on how to make anal sex not so shitty. Pun totally intended, everybody. So, why are people into anal? What? You don't know? You don't know? There are so many nerve endings at the opening of your anus. That's why sometimes when you are releasing some of that waste, you know what? It feels good, right? It feels like a little release when that oversized fecal movement happens. You know what I'm saying? But seriously, there's a lot of nerve endings at the opening of the anus that can be very easily stimulated. That's why I have never met a person who doesn't like rimming, analingus, oral sex of the anus, oral copulation of the anal opening. Someone using their mouth to stimulate someone else by wetting up their anus with their tongue. Got it? So I have met people who said, I have never had analingus, but never met anyone who said, you know what? I hate that shit. That's bad. No. So one reason why people like a little anal play is because we have all of these nerve endings right at the opening of the anus. And also, in our anal canal, there's some nerve endings there too. For men, it can be really stimulating because a man's prostate, it can be reached right at the opening of the anus, right at that first part of the anus. And a lot of people compare the man's prostate to a woman's G-spot just to give you an idea of how good it should feel when a man's prostate is stimulated. And you know what? Should's a loaded word. I'm going to say that. How good a lot of men feel when their prostate's stimulated. But if you're a man who it doesn't feel good to, baby, I want you to feel empowered to voice that, okay? Everybody is different and you are special and you deserve to talk to your lover about what feels good to you, not what everybody else likes, right? Hey. So, now another reason why I hear men like anal, it's this idea of like conquer and submission. I have really conquered her if she gives me her butt. If she is willing to open up her butt to me, that means, yes, I'm control. Man. Now, we won't say anything about the self-esteem issues he may need to work on, okay? We're not going to talk about that. We're just going to talk about a lot of men who say that feels good, that feeling of when a woman submits her anus to him to be penetrated. They like that feeling of submission, okay? Now, for women, why do women do anal, okay? A lot of women think it's a gift to their lover. So they might not really be into it, but their man has been asking them for a while to do it. And they're like, you know what? It's a special occasion. It's your birthday. I'm going to do it for you, baby. Yes. And of course, there's a lot of people who really get off when they see that their lover is stimulated. So some ladies really they feel a lot of pleasure when they see their man is really turned on. So they give up the butt because that's what makes them happy, okay? And you know what? There are those girls who are like, ooh, I gotta be a bad girl. I need to be a bad girl. And women say anal sex makes them feel like a bad girl. There you go. So if you want to get into that feeling like, oh, I'm so mad at my ex-boyfriend, I'm going to be a bad girl. Well, yeah. Or, tonight I just feel like being bad. You know what I'm saying? And there are some women who have had some vaginal procedures like a colposcopy And for those who don't know, that's when a woman gets a part of her cervix, just clipped off a little bit so that a doctor can examine the tissue to make sure that she doesn't have cancer. Okay? In short, but colposcopies have become so popular in recent years because everybody's got HPV. HPV can lead to cervical cancer. So a lot of women are having too many colposcopies, okay? And so some of those women say they really prefer anal sex because, one, their anal canal is intact, it's longer, and guess what? Some ladies just been really busy with men with really big penises. So they say, you know what? My anus is tighter. And I like it like that. I like to feel the tightness, okay? So whatever your reason for anal is, it doesn't matter as long as you have a consenting adult and you're not feeling pressure to do it. Because you know what? Sexual pressure sucks. Very, very bad. Sexual pressure is bad, people. And anybody pressuring you to do something sexual that you don't want to do, you know what they need to do? They need to back off, okay? And if you have trouble saying that for yourself, you know what you need to do? Simply share this show with them. And you know what? They're going to check themselves, which is actually the best way that people learn, by teaching themselves, okay? Now, if you are considering exploring that back door, you definitely need to know about the safety risks. Risk number 1, pain. Ouch. You know what? Anal tissue is really, really thin. Doesn't self-lubricate like the magical vagina, and it doesn't stretch like the magical vagina does either. What that means is it can tear easier. And what that means is it can bleed easier. And when you got tearing and bleeding and penetration all involved in the same situation, that means that you got sexual risk. Anal sex is the riskiest type of sex in terms of contracting sexually transmitted infections. So you really want to be careful, okay? Also, since E. coli, salmonella, and other bacterial yuck lives in your anus, infections can occur from coming into contact with this yuckiness. So the bottom line is, to avoid unwanted outcomes from anal intercourse, you want to do what? Prepare, baby, prepare. As with everything in life, preparation is the key to successful butt sex. So, let's talk about some of your preparation steps. You heard? These are the preparation steps you need to take. Lube, 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 and a little more lube, okay? Rule number 1, do not ever torture your rectum by attempting anal without lubrication, okay? What are you, self-torturing? No, don't do that. To optimize the lubricating effects of lube during anal sex, you may want to consider purchasing a lube injector to make sure it gets all the way up there. You know what I'm saying? Now, a lube injector deposits lube internally. It minimizes the mess on your hands and sheets while shooting lube into the specific area where it needs to get. Okay? And speaking of lube, you know what you don't want to do? Warming or tingling lubes. I have never heard someone say, you know what, I need extra sensation during anal. Okay? No, it doesn't happen. Anal is sensational enough. You do not need warming or tingling lubes. Okay? Now, water-based lube is a good option for you unless you're having sex in the water, because you know what? Water-based lube is not very effective when you're in the water. So if shower sex is your thing, you might want to consider some other options. Oil-based lubes can be really slippery and very effective. And that's really important. You definitely need to use that during anal, but oil-based lubes can also damage your condoms. And you know what's really important in anal? Condom use, okay? Don't put your penis in contact with your fecal matter. Don't do that. Bad idea, okay? Now, silicone is great, but it can damage silicone sex toys. So if you're having anal with a human, perhaps silicone is the best choice for you. However, if you're having anal with a silicone toy, perhaps consider your other options. You know what I'm saying? Not all sex happens with another human, as we know. Now, condoms, we just talked about them. Use them, okay? We already discussed the STD and bacterial infection risks, so I know that you are definitely going to protect yourself. And you know how I know that? Because, baby, you are a sapiosexual, a person attracted to intellect, which is why you are tuned into Sex in South Beach right now. Yes, indeed. So keep being a super smarty pants, okay? You just keep on being a super smarty pants and doing what you need to do, okay? Do you hate mosquito bites? Me too. That's why I use Sense Aromatherapy Body Oil every single day. It's all natural, keeps my skin popping, plus it repels mosquitoes, so my skin stays smooth. And Sense smells so good, no one knows I'm wearing insect repellent. Sense Body Oil just makes sense. SENSE bodyoil.com. Hey, if your mouth is going to get in the game, like if you like analingus, you know what you need to do? Grab yourself some dental dams. Yes, indeed. They come in lots of flavors too. And you know what? I think that could really improve the experience for the oh so generous analingus giver, right? Flavor up the booty hole. So now that I know that you know how to protect yourself, let's talk about how to prepare that anus for entry. You heard that? Now that I'm sure you're going to protect yourself, we got to talk about training that anal hole to expand so there can be some entry. First rule, slow. Slow. The name of the game is gradual and gentle, people. And when I say gradual, I mean like days, weeks, months of preparation, okay? Now, for best results, the anal opening needs to get used to something in there before full anal penetration. Basically, a little stretching and comfort building. You know what I'm saying? Fingers well-groomed, nails trimmed, lubed up, nice, gentle finger inserted very slowly, just a little bit, almost maybe a fingernail, then a little bit deeper, and then maybe a little bit deeper, and a little bit deeper, but very gentle and gradual over time. And maybe you want something other than fingers to do the job? Anal beads. That's exactly what you were thinking, right? Strings of balls attached together that are inserted. You know what happened in the studio, everybody? I said anal beads and shit just broke down. The camera was like, what the fuck are they talking about? Anal beads. You want me to put some jewelry up my ass? No, but that's not a bad idea. You know, a little ass necklace. You know, get ready for anal. Yay. Slow. The name of the game is gradual and gentle. We're having too much fun in the studio with this anal sex episode. Anal beads. What are anal beads? I know you were just thinking that. Anal beads, a string of balls attached together, people, and they are inserted and removed from the anus. Now, the focus of stimulation when you're working with anal beads is the inserting and removing process, right? Because you can insert it slow, remove it fast, or insert it fast and remove it slow. And anal beads come in different sizes. They're really small sometimes, or they're bigger other times, and sometimes they move up. They start small and they get bigger, and then they're all connected on the same string. And what? You have anal variety in your anal beads. Who doesn't want that, right? Well, some people really don't, just FYI. Butt plug. Speaking of things some people like and others don't, that might be one of them, right? Unlike anal beads, a butt plug stays in place, and this can be worn during oral and vaginal sex. So if someone is really trying to get used to having something in their anus, they may want to consider putting a butt plug up there and then getting used to that, which is a lot easier than having a penis in your anus. So try it out. Think about what your options are. And as you're thinking about that, before you have anal, you also want to think about what? Cleaning out your bowel tract. Nothing like a dirty bowel tract to boo, 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 the experience of anal, right? Now, to make sure the bowels are as clean as possible, many people do take an enema before anal. Now, the problem with this is that doing so can actually strip the anal tissue, the tissue that lines the anus, and that can make it more susceptible to tears and bleeding during anal penetration. And that's not good. But there's a lot of natural ways you can also clean out the bowel tract. So let's talk about those. I really think the best way to do it is very old-fashioned. Eat yourself a high-fiber diet, drink lots of water, and avoid processed foods. So you know what I'm saying? Stop eating junk, increase your fruit and veggie intake, and drink tons of water to clean yourself out naturally. But no matter how clean you think you are, Remember, the purpose of the anus, seriously, is to release waste from your body, to expel it, to get it out, right? So regardless of the precautions you take, expect some evidence of bowels every time you engage in anal, okay? I really want you to have some realistic expectations about this stuff. Now that we've learned a little bit about best practices to explore the back door, it is so important to say that no matter how much education some people get, there is not enough lube in the world to make them want to engage in anal. Nah, baby. Some people might even enjoy a little anal play, but they may never decide to go for full penetration of their backdoor entryway. What I'm trying to say, clear as day, is that some people will never want to explore that back door. And baby, that is all right. Because you know what the best sex is? Pressure free. Yes, indeed. And now let me give you your climax. Here's a lowdown on what you need to know about exploring the back door. 1, the best anal penetration starts with preparation. Get yourself a shopping list and fill it with condoms, lubes, dental dams, anal beads, and a butt plug before you get down to the nitty-gritty of butt sex city. Take your time. That's point number 2. You got to take your time, baby. Take your time gradually preparing the anus for entry. This is definitely not a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am situation. This is a long-term love affair that starts out slow. And you know what? Even after all that work, it may never progress to full anal penetration. So reduce those expectations. And now, as you're considering anal, I ask you, point number 3, why not enjoy a healthy diet filled with fiber and water before engaging in anal? Not only will this keep your body healthy, but of course it'll help clean out your bowels naturally. And nothing says you care more about your butt than having a clean bowel tract, right? Especially if you're preparing it for entry. And baby, always remember that just because everyone's having anal, and just because everyone has an anus, doesn't mean that you got to get yours involved in sex. Anal adventures just ain't for everybody. No way, okay? You can learn about a lot, you can try a lot, but you got to make sexual decisions that are best for yourself, right? Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I know anal adventures it's a lot. It's a lot. I feel really connected to you right now. I mean, we've just had butt sex, okay? Now, I had so much fun exploring the back door with you, baby. And you know what's next, right? You're going to share this show with someone you love. And definitely with that person you're thinking of having anal with. For your daily dose of Nookie knowledge, check me out on all the social media networks. That's Dr. Sonjia, DrSonjia, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Come on, baby, let's link up. This is Dr. Sonjia, and I can't wait to see you next time at Sex in South Beach, where everyone comes for happier, healthier sex.